And Obama backs the Chavez-backed candidate. And what's he doing hugging Chavez there? What was that about? And you see the same thing happening in Nicaragua now. Of course, because think of your own little communities. What are you going to do? What is your community going to look like if there's no police in the room, in the town? What will your community look like if there's no policemen? I'm asking you. It's chaos. This is what's happening. The cops have resigned. And the world is spinning out of control. Spinning. There is not one hot spot in this country, on the globe, that's not in some kind of jeopardy. He abandoned our Eastern European allies, these people that supported us unequivocally in the coalition of the willing in Iraq. He abandoned missile defense. What do you think? And I have a little picture of him bowing to Putin. He loves to bow to, there's something sexy about a dictator to this guy. It's unbelievable. He has no respect. I mean, I really winced to watch him with Netanyahu. It was embarrassing. It was painful. And even with the Queen. And Sarkozy can't stand him. And don't even ask me what Merkel thinks of him. She really hates him. 2 days ago, Russia simulated a nuclear attack on Poland. That's what happens when the cop goes off the beat. He's somehow anti-Platonic. He thinks that the world, if he's charismatic and friendly, that it's all going to be lovely and good. Whereas in reality, the world is in chaos. And it's America with her ships outside of Russia or the Aegean Sea or the constant patrol of the world that keeps the world in order. We're living in very dangerous times. And what I'd like to say is, there are a couple people here that I'm very impressed with because they understand what needs to be done. There's a gentleman that came from Pennsylvania. He's an Atlas reader. He's been an Atlas reader for a long time. He's his own little movement now. His name is Rich Davis. And, you know, he would be so aggravated. You know, there was this anti-war movement, you know, the smelly, nasty, ugly hippies across from where he lived. It would make him crazy. And one day he went out there by himself with a sign. And a couple years later, he gets like 50 to 100 people every Saturday. And then he got a pack together. And then he put people up in this small, you know, this small city council. Because that's where it starts. And this is what the people need to do. It's not enough to elect a president. You see, the left understands this. This is what they do. Their ideology is totalitarian. It's statism. It is, we've seen it. We've witnessed it how many times in history? Every single evil regime, they come on the altruism line, the common good. I'll tell you, let me see if I could find this. I'm going to play a game with you. You ready? Let's play a game. Let's see if I can find my game. I'm going to read you some quotes, and you're going to tell me who said them. Ready? We ask that the government undertake the obligation, above all, of providing citizens with adequate opportunity for employment and for earning a living. We demand the greatest possible consideration of businesses in the purchase of the national, state, and municipal governments. In order to make possible to every capable and industrious citizen the attainment of higher education and thus the achievement of leadership in government and all-around enlargement of our entire system of public education, we demand the education as a government expense, yada, yada, yada. The government must, and you're getting the point, take over public education. Expand public education. The government must undertake the improvement of public health. Hello. By protecting mother and child and prohibiting child labor and making possible so on and so forth. And that was Hitler's Germany. Yeah. So that was National Socialism. They love to say that it was the right. It wasn't. It was the left. And it's always the common good. I tell you that this country, the essence is not taught to our children. They are not taught that 100 million people died outside of war, under communism, outside of war. They are not taught that. They are not taught that you never, ever live for the sake of another man. You cannot enslave half the population for the other half of the population. And that's what we're talking about. The greatest leap in human achievement came under America, under a system of laissez-faire capitalism. The objective of the government was to protect the people, rule of law, protect the people from use of force. That's it. Because people on their own will trade, will work, will produce. It's a beautiful thing. I will never ask anyone to live for the sake of me, and I will not live for the sake of another man. This is the essence of the battle. I speak for the smallest minority in the world. I speak for the individual. This is what it all comes down to. I speak for the individual. Individual rights, period. I will not be subjected to majority rule, mob rule, and minority plotting. I'll have none of it. They like to say, well, the Constitution, it's a living document. What a scary statement. It's a living document. And who's going to change it? Barney Frank? Principles are timeless. That document is the most beautiful document ever written in human history. It's an incredible document. When you stop and think for a moment that the tenet of the United States of America is life and liberty and the pursuit of happiness, and that our forefathers lived and died and shed blood. Our founding fathers, give me liberty or give me death. And where are we today? Today it's like, if there's an ample supply of Cheetos, they'll TiVo the revolution. It's astounding to me. I think it's because we assume our freedom. I think it's because it's never been threatened. It's threatened now. Do you know that when President Obama was going on his apology tour, that CARE, the Council of American Islamic Relations, gave him a list of words not to use in talking to Islamic nations? First, clash of civilizations. Don't use it. Secular. That's really bad, I guess. Assimilation. Reformation. Jihadi. Moderate. Interfaith. Religious freedom. And tolerance. But most of all, respect them. This is the word. I won't. I will not. My respect gets earned. I will not respect it. And I am very, very troubled by this Fort Hood jihad. Could you imagine if 9/11 happened now? You think it would play out the same way? They'd also be doing these gyrations that would make, that would make a contortionist jealous. It's embarrassing to watch them this way. And why? And why? Because then, I guess, then what do? If you look at does anybody travel here? Is it not the worst? I mean, oh my God, some jihadi in England puts a bomb in his shoe, so everybody take your shoes off, and every third flight I'm on, I get that special treatment, Come here, lady, we want to pat you down. Oh yeah, it's unbelievable. It's in New York City, you cannot go into a building. You cannot go into a building, and buildings are our life. That's what I kind of liked about Texas. It's like, people think, oh wow, New York girl comes to Texas to talk. And I'm thinking, we're not so different. You build out, we build up. We're bold, we're brash, we're original, we're thoroughly American, But you can't go into a building without the whole rigmarole. And everyone's saying there's no war, but we're living in such a defensive position. I am telling you, you cannot win a war like this. And Islam is at war with the West. This is a fact. You may not like it, you may not like to hear it, but this is what's happening. And by denying it, by forfeiting the war, it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. It means you're going to lose. And we can look at Europe, where in Denmark, there's a low-grade civil war. There are gun battles in the street.